affidavits today. David Van, David Oldham, and David D'Ambroso. And what about this petition to legalize recreational marijuana? They just filed it. Carmen Foreman right here from the Oklahoman. An initiative to petition to legalize recreational marijuana for use for Oklahomans ages 21 and older was quietly filed with the Secretary of State's office Thursday. 15-page petition seeks to amend Oklahoma's constitution to legalize recreational marijuana for most residents and impose an excise tax of, boom, 15% on recreational but not medical marijuana. Which, you know, the first time you pay that 15% on recreational pot, it's not too bad. The second time, you know, it's not much worse.
Oh, no, it's going to be
By the third time, you're pretty well used to it.
Yeah, it's actually going to be about 24% because these folks made the same mistake that Chip Paul and the last folks did when they said it's going to be subject to a tax of 7% on all sales, but they didn't say a sales tax. They said a tax on sales. And the wise pirates, the pirates at the Oklahoma Tax Commission, yes, I called you pirates, decided that, oh, well, that sounds like an excise tax. Yes, that's excise tax.
You know what?
Therefore, since it's taxable, it's also subject to a sales tax because they didn't specifically exclude it from that, and so we're going to charge both. And these people walked right into that same trap.
And they're going and they already volunteered an exorbitant tax,
sin tax
that is a sin tax. They've just placed it on everybody. Yeah. Oh, these people are so gracious to end prohibition when you've got a gigano tax on it. No, that's not ending prohibition. No. That's continuing it.
Yeah.
So and did you notice the wording for most residents, not all residents? It's not freedom. It's upon a certain number of people, but not everybody, and therefore again there's no equal protection under the law.
Now I looked at it as one of my bloggers, Nigel O'Malley, point out three things. In fact, you can find his article on 3D Politics Live on Facebook. It's also on Soonerpolitics.org, where he found out three different things where this thing screwed up. One, it says dispensaries cannot, or retail outlets had to be 1,000 feet from a school. And then if you go into definitions, they describe school very vaguely. So that
Does it look like it's harmed the facility location since there's one approximately on every street corner?
A Sunday school
qualifies as a school.
Would qualify as a school. Therefore, now you're saying all churches.
What happened to reading comprehension? This is obvious. The way the law was written is there isn't just one tax. It says it's subject to tax, which refers to several potentials.
Yeah, I mentioned the couple of women who signed it as the ones presenting, and I'm sure there are some others. I've heard other people pitching the idea of going rec, and I won't mention their names because they didn't volunteer it, but there's people trying to defend this thing. But I've got a large Facebook group, about 10,000 medical marijuana patients, that I ran it by them today, and right away there was about 30 comments, about 90% negative on this. So those who are already consuming it with a medical license as a patient are saying, this thing sucks. It's poorly written.
Well, again, remember, we already have the right. The right exists and belongs to all of us. The only thing that we lack is enforcement of that right upon those who would deny us.
Yeah.
So we need no vote, the federal government and the state government. And it's all branches of both of those governments.
It's a pretty big government.
Those levels and locals as well.
So for the stoners, what they'll want to know from the Oklahoman, the tax money. Should the proposed state question 806 pass, the petition grants Oklahoma's legislature the power to change the set tax rate no sooner than November 3, 2024. Right. The tax money would go into a new fund called the Oklahoma Marijuana Revenue Trust Fund. You can trust that.
Like he said.
Under Here's what the stoners want to know. Under the proposed state question, people caught smoking marijuana in a disallowed public place will be subject to a $25 fine. Mm-hmm. The petition bars law enforcement officials from searching, detaining, or arresting people who are caught smoking marijuana in public places.
Yep.
So
yeah, this is.
I just want to say, as a callback, as a sidebar, I respect the brave civil servants, the Oklahoma Tax Commission. They really are the best of the best, the cream of the crop, and I appreciate them never auditing me.
Suck up.
your love in the air.
Well, the other thing that Nigel Malley points out is says that the plants, which you can grow, but now they limit it further, that if your household has 3 patients, you can be growing up to 3 dozen plants right now.
It's criminal that you can only have 144,000 joints in your possession at any given time.
I don't know where you got that number. But it says now every household, residents, can now be limited to just 24. So even if you got...
Yeah, freedom starts limiting your freedom.
And they say, if those plants can be seen from a public street, then you're subject to a fine of like $250.
And see, again...
If they can be seen, not identified, they just see a green blob,
Again, look at this stuff, folks. This is not freedom. Freedom is, it's not criminal. There's no harm to anybody else. It's not criminal. You can do it. That's what freedom is. These people are not promoting freedom. They're promoting more prohibition.
Yeah.
In fact, like he just said, I said it wrong, but their freedom is worse than prohibition now.
Yeah.
Because right now you can have up to 3 dozen plants. They take it down to 2 dozen, and that's called freedom.
Yeah.